Before Hollywood ever saw them as a legendary duo, Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan were two completely different worlds that were never supposed to meet. Chris Tucker came from Atlanta, United States. He was loud, energetic, unpredictable, and naturally funny. Everything about him screamed comedy. He could turn silence into laughter without even trying. His voice, his expressions, and his fast-talking style made him different from every comedian around him. He was not trying to act funny. He simply was funny. Jackie Chan, on the other hand, came from Hong Kong. His life was built on discipline, pain, and perfection. While Chris Tucker was improvising jokes, Jackie Chan was training his body for years in martial arts and stunt performance. Every movement he made on screen was calculated, controlled, and dangerous. Two completely opposite personalities. One was chaos. One was control. One spoke fast. One often spoke through action. Nobody in Hollywood ever thought these two would work together. But Hollywood had an idea that would change everything. The film Rush Hour was created with a risky concept, pairing a fast-talking American detective with a serious Hong Kong inspector. On paper, it sounded strange. Some people in the industry doubted it would even work. They thought the cultures were too different, the styles too different, and the audience might not connect. But something unexpected happened during casting. When Chris Tucker entered the room, he did not just read lines. He performed them. He moved around, changed his tone, added humor, and completely transformed the script without asking for permission. He was not just acting the character. Then Jackie Chan entered, and everything changed. Jackie Chan was calm, respectful, and focused. His performance style was controlled and precise. He did not try to compete with Chris Tucker. Instead, he reacted naturally, letting Chris's energy bounce off his silence and expressions. And that is where something magical happened. The contrast created comedy. The room watching them realized something immediately. This was not just casting. This was chemistry. When Chris Tucker spoke fast and exaggerated emotions, Jackie Chan's calm reactions made everything funnier. When Jackie performed action sequences, Chris Tucker's commentary added humor that made the scenes unforgettable. They were opposites, but they balanced each other perfectly. Filming began, and very quickly, both actors realized they had to adjust to each other. Chris Tucker had to slow down just enough to allow timing for Jackie's reactions. Jackie Chan had to adapt to Chris's unpredictable humor and improvisation. At first, it was challenging. Two different languages of performance, two different cultures, two different styles of storytelling, but instead of fighting the difference, they embraced it. Chris Tucker started respecting Jackie Chan's discipline. Jackie was not just an actor, he performed his own stunts, risking real injury every single time. Chris began to realize that Jackie's calm personality came from years of hard training and sacrifice. Jackie Chan, on the other hand, began appreciating Chris Tucker's creativity. Chris could turn a simple line into something unforgettable. He could change the energy of a scene instantly. Jackie once described Chris as someone with natural rhythm for comedy. Outside the camera, their connections started growing. Even with language barriers, they found ways to communicate. Sometimes through gestures, sometimes through laughter, sometimes just through understanding each other's energy without words. They did not need perfect communication. They needed timing. And timing was something they both understood deeply in their own way. Chris Tucker came from stand-up comedy, where timing decides whether people laugh or not. Jackie Chan came from action choreography, where timing decides whether a stunt works or fails. Different worlds, same principle. As filming continued, what started as a professional collaboration slowly became something deeper. Respect, mutual trust, comfort on set. They began enjoying working together more than expected. Scenes were no longer just scripted. They became interactive. Chris would improvise jokes. Jackie would respond naturally. Directors often had to pause because the chemistry between them created moments that were better than the original script. Hollywood started noticing something special. This was not just another action comedy movie. This was something new, something unpredictable. Even when filming became physically and mentally demanding, both actors pushed through. Jackie Chan performed dangerous stunts that required precision and courage. Chris Tucker carried long comedic scenes that required constant energy and emotional performance. They both carried pressure in different ways, but neither of them quit, because something bigger was forming, a bond that was not planned, a friendship that was not scripted, And slowly, without realizing it, Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan were building the foundation of one of the most unexpected friendships in Hollywood history. A friendship that would not only define a movie, but would change how the world saw action and comedy forever. And this was only the beginning. After the unexpected chemistry in Rush Hour 1, Hollywood quickly realized something important. This was not a normal movie partnership. This was a global phenomenon in the making. When Rush Hour was released, audiences around the world immediately connected with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. The film became a massive success, not just because of action or comedy, but because of the energy between the two lead actors. People did not just watch them, they enjoyed them. Chris Tucker's loud, fast-talking humor mixed perfectly with Jackie Chan's calm physical storytelling. It felt natural, like two completely different forces coming together and creating something new. Hollywood had seen many duos before, but nothing like this. After the success of the first film, pressure immediately increased. Studios wanted more. Fans wanted more. The chemistry that surprised everyone was now expected to continue on a bigger scale. And that is where Rush Hour 2 came in. But what most people don't realize is that behind the scenes, something deeper was forming between Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. A real friendship. During filming, both actors became more comfortable with each other. The awkwardness of working across cultures, languages, and acting styles slowly disappeared. Instead, they developed a rhythm that made filming smoother and more natural. Chris Tucker started understanding Jackie Chan beyond the screen. Jackie Chan was not just an action star. He was a disciplined performer who risked his body in almost every scene. He performed his own stunts, often getting injured but still continuing filming without complaint. Chris Tucker admired that deeply. He began to respect Jackie not just as a co-star, but as someone with extraordinary dedication. On the other side, Jackie Chan also began to see something special in Chris Tucker. Chris was unpredictable, but in a good way. He could turn serious moments into comedy instantly. He could break tension on set with just a line or facial expression. Jackie found this fascinating because it brought a different kind of life to the movie. Together, they balanced each other. But fame also brought pressure. As Rush Hour 2 went into production, expectations were much higher than before. The first movie was a surprise hit. The second had to prove it was not a one-time success. Hollywood was watching closely. Fans were watching closely. Every scene mattered, every decision mattered. But instead of breaking under pressure, Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan leaned into their chemistry even more. They trusted each other. One of the strongest things about their partnership was timing. Chris Tucker's comedy depended on perfect timing. Jackie Chan's action depended on perfect timing. Even though their styles were different, they both understood the importance of rhythm. That shared understanding made them stronger as a duo. On set, they began to communicate without words. A look, a pause, or a movement was enough to understand what the other would do next. Directors often had to stop filming because their improvisation created moments that were better than the script. There were times when Chris Tucker would improvise a joke, and Jackie Chan would respond naturally without breaking character. These unscripted moments became some of the most memorable parts of the film. It was not forced. It was real interaction. And that is what made it powerful. As Rush Hour 2 was released, the movie became an even bigger global success than the first. It reached international audiences across different cultures and languages. People who did not even understand English fully still enjoyed the movie because of Jackie Chan's physical comedy and Chris Tucker's expressive performance. The friendship between them became a key reason for the film's success. But behind the success, something interesting was happening. They were no longer just co-stars, they were becoming friends outside of filming. They respected each other's personal space, but whenever they met, there was an immediate connection. No awkwardness, no distance, just familiarity and mutual respect. Chris Tucker once mentioned in interviews that working with Jackie Chan felt special because Jackie was humble despite his global fame. Jackie Chan, on the other hand, often praised Chris Tucker for his energy and creativity. But what fans saw on screen was only part of the story. Off-screen, their bond was quieter but stronger. After Rush Hour 2, both actors had different career paths. Jackie Chan continued doing international action films, expanding his global influence. Chris Tucker became more selective with his roles, focusing on quality over quantity and stepping back from constant Hollywood appearances. Even with distance, their connection did not disappear every time they reunited for interviews or the next project. It was like nothing had changed. The chemistry was still there, the respect was still there, the friendship was still alive. When Rush Hour 3 eventually came years later, it was clear that time had not weakened their bond. If anything, it made it stronger. They understood each other better, they trusted each other more, and they knew exactly how to bring out the best in each other on screen. Hollywood partnerships often fade over time, but theirs did not, because it was never just business. It was built on something deeper, mutual respect between two completely different worlds that somehow fit perfectly together. And even after the cameras stopped rolling, fans continued to remember them not just as actors, but as one of the most iconic duos in film history, a friendship that began by accident and became a legacy. After Rush Hour 3, something changed in Hollywood. Not in a loud way, but in a quiet, lasting way. People started realizing that Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan were not just movie partners anymore. They had become a symbol of something rare in the entertainment industry, a friendship that survived fame, time, and distance. When filming slowed down, many fans expected the connection between them to fade away like most Hollywood partnerships. That is usually what happens. Actors work together, share a moment of success, and then move on to separate careers. But Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan were different. Even after years apart, their respect for each other remained strong. They did not need to constantly appear together to prove their bond. It already existed, built during long filming days, stressful productions, and moments where trust mattered more than words. Chris Tucker had always been the louder personality, the comedian who filled silence with energy. Jackie Chan was the calm one, the disciplined performer who expressed emotion through action more than speech. But together, they balanced each other in a way Hollywood rarely sees. Outside the films, both of them continued their separate journeys. Jackie Chan became even more respected worldwide. He expanded into international cinema, philanthropy, and mentoring younger actors. He built a legacy not only as an action star, but as someone who contributed to global entertainment culture. Chris Tucker, on the other hand, became more selective. He stepped back from constant Hollywood appearances and focused on his personal life, spiritual growth, and carefully chosen projects. His presence became less frequent, but his impact never disappeared. And yet, whenever they appeared together again, even in interviews or special moments, something instantly returned. That same energy, that same laughter, that same connection. It was as if time never separated them. Fans noticed it every time, even after years. When Chris Tucker joked and Jackie Chan responded with his calm smile or laugh, it felt natural. Not rehearsed, not forced, just real friendship continuing where it left off. That is what made their bond special. It was never built on contracts or fame. It was built on experience, on understanding, on respect. In an industry where many relationships are temporary, their connection became a reminder that true friendships do not always need constant attention to survive. Some bonds are strong enough to last quietly in the background. The Rush Hour franchise itself became more than just a series of movies. It became a cultural memory, a moment in time where East met West, action met comedy, and two completely different personalities created something unforgettable. But the real legacy was not just the movies, it was the relationship behind them. Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan showed the world that differences do not separate people. They can actually create something powerful when respect is present. Different languages, different cultures, different acting styles, yet one shared understanding on screen and a real friendship off screen. Even today, fans still talk about them not just as actors, but as a duo that defined an era of action comedy films. Their story is not about fame alone. It is about connection, about trust built in unexpected places, and about how two people from completely different worlds can come together and create something timeless. Because in the end, Hollywood is full of partnerships, but very few become friendships. And even fewer become legends. Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan are one of those rare stories. A reminder that sometimes the most unexpected connections create the most unforgettable legacies. And this is Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. This is their friendship.